Welcome to Words of Light for Today, a teaching ministry that shares godly principles while giving spiritual insight and divine revelation from the Word of God for the everydayness life brings. Be richly blessed as we join Linda Adkins.
I started studying this the other day, and the Lord reminded me of some things. And so I had to go back to Genesis. So let's go to Genesis chapter 3. Satan is God's enemy, but he's our adversary. Say, well, that means the same thing. No, it doesn't. God doesn't mix words. If enemy will do, he just uses enemy. But he says that he's our adversary. For your adversary, the devil. So he's God's enemy, and an enemy is someone who hates another, attacks or tries to harm another. Now, it doesn't say anything about him being stupid, but he was rather stupid for trying to attack God. But he led a rebellion against heaven and against God, and he talked enough of the angels to try to take over the throne of God. And the scripture says he was cast down. So Satan can't be he can't be destroyed. He has to be annihilated. And that doesn't mean the same thing either. Because he either has to be locked up or he's got to be put in the lake of fire. And none of those, the lake of fire is just going to burn on eternally. Well, won't we get to where those that go to hell burn up? No. For those of us that accept the Lord and choose his way and his way of doing things, we're going to live eternally with him. And others that don't want to, that's okay. You have the right to choose that, but you're going to live eternally in hell with Satan. And there's no chance of getting out. So, he's our adversary. He does everything to become an adversary. He's an adversary of all that is good in God and in all of his creatures. Everything. An adversary is one who contends with, opposes, and resists. You can also find the word enemy, but it does not mean, enemy is not the first definition of the word adversary. So, you look over in chapter 3, and you see where God has watched this happening in chapter 3. And it says, and he said unto Adam, in verse 17, because you have hearkened unto the voice of your wife, and you have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake, in sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread, till you return unto the ground. For out of it you was taken, and dust you art, and dust you will return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living things. Now, these two pronouncements that he's made here on Adam was very lengthy. And it was probably the number one fact, that he didn't just get deceived. He just sinned. He committed treason. He knew better than to do that. And so God felt like he had to bring him to a place where he was understanding what was going to happen. He told him, he said, now, of all the trees in this garden, you can eat thereof, all but this one right here, in the midst of the garden. So if it was in the middle of the garden, he had to be seeing that tree every day. Every day. Every day. And yet, he walked past it for a long time. He does his job. He keeps and cares for the garden. Now, had it stayed that way, the Lord, along with the earth, would have provided everything that he and Eve needed. Everything, the ground would have yielded to him. And now the ground curses him. He said, the ground is against you. And the ground is cursed because of you. Because of what you did, the ground is cursed. My. And you know, the scripture says in Romans chapter 8, it says that all of creation groans until the sons of God could be established. My goodness. So one of our greatest scriptures in here is, behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. So, the earth is looking for that time frame. It's looking so that it can go back to the way it was when God first created. Oh my goodness. Now, God saw that he needed to get some things straight with him, because he had committed a grievous error and he really didn't want him to repeat it. Now, up until this point, little by little, the things begin to deteriorate. This happens and that happens. The snake comes in the garden, and he's used by the devil. There's a curse put on him. Some people think that because God said to him, you're going to crawl on your belly and eat the dust, that somehow or another snakes had legs. Well, they've never had legs. Snakes have always crawled. But what that meant was a spiritual thing, in that on your belly you shall crawl. And Satan knew that meant him, because he had been totally set aside with his foul pride. He had a gargantuan pride that had to be stopped. And the only way to do it was beginning to take care of everything that had yielded to him. Now, the reason why he is our adversary is because he is constantly looking for things to trick us with. He's constantly looking for something to be your adversary over, to get you to do something against what you know is already God's will. And he said to him, he said, there are two parts to this. There's two parts to this curse. One is he obeyed Eve, and number two, he disobeyed God. Say, well, that's really simple. Well, it's simple since I told you. But when you line it up, you don't really see that the curse has a twofold thing. He listened to Eve, and he disobeyed God. Now, is it wrong to listen to your wife ever? No, it's not wrong, because you go over to Ephesians and Paul wrote, submit yourselves one to another. But once you have a word from God on something, to get somebody else's opinion or let someone else tell you what to do, you're going to sin. Paul said, once I heard from God, I conferred no longer with flesh and blood. Now, can you become very dogmatic in that? Yes, you can. And so you have to watch your attitude. You have to watch the spirit you're of, because he already warns us in the 3rd chapter that you better watch the spirit. Try the spirit. Try the spirit, not only of someone else, but your own spirit. See if your attitude is not a little bit off. Oh, my. Okay, so he sinned by doing something that he should not have done, as well as not doing something that he should have done. Are y'all there? He did something that he should not have done, as well as not doing something that he should have done. What should he not have done? Obeyed Eve. What should he have done? Obeyed God. But see, he chose to allow that rather than confront her. Most men don't want to really confront their wives. If you do, you're in for this long, drawn out discourse. And so most men, they'll say, okay, whatever, you choose, honey, that's just fine with me. But you see, correction, listen, not being able to correct things lost them the world. It lost them their authority. It lost them everything. And listening to her whining, listening to her carrying on. You see, his sin was a sin of commission and a sin of omission. He committed both sins at one time. And he yielded to her in something specifically that God had said to him before Eve was made. Now, you better listen to this. If you don't get this, you see, they never got it. God took him and explained to him and said to him, this is the reason for your curse. This is how you are cursed. This is what you did. And you know what? They never asked for forgiveness. They never accepted their blame. They never did. She blamed it on the serpent. He blamed it on her. And right today, if a husband can get by with saying that his wife caused all that, he's going to take that route. Now, that's the truth. Now, It didn't take long. It did not take long for God to find out what kind of character they had. When he looked at Adam, and Adam looked at him, and he said, "It is this woman that you gave me." What did he do there? What did he just do? Well, he blamed her, but what is something that most people try to do when they're made to face what they've done? They put it back on God. The woman you made gave it to me. Well, the snake you made. See, even when somebody lovingly takes our cheeks and holds them and say, "No, you did this. You did this. And this is the results of what you have done. I already told you." Now, could he have forgiven them? Yes. He began to tell him. He didn't go over what she did. He just pronounced a curse. But he didn't go over it. He didn't address her. He addressed him, so that he was trying to get him to accept his responsibility and to say, "God, I'll never do that again." But he didn't. Well, it doesn't say in here that he didn't. Well, if he does this kind of a sin that causes every man from that point on to be born altogether in sin, don't you think that God would have put in here, "But he asked me to forgive him"? In some of these 1,000 and something pages, at some point, would he have mentioned that? Yes, he would. Looking at how he writes, and looking at how he addresses things, and looking at what he cares about, yeah, he would have said that. But they left that garden and left the presence of God without ever having taken back. Well, it really wasn't her fault. It was my fault. I can't blame her with that. I should have not allowed that. We don't have any money because she spends too much. There are ways to look at things. There's her way, there's his way, and then there is the way. You see, God's command takes precedence over anything. Takes precedence over anything. I learned that a really hard way, because the Lord had told me something and I didn't do it like I was told to do it, and I lost. Because I listened to other people. Now, have we since repented? Yes, we have. We've all repented in the thing, because I don't want another account of this. I mean, we already have to contend with an adversary until we die. But the thing of it is, I don't want to add to it. I want to be able to try the Spirit, even my own. I want to be able to know that I'm in the right attitude, that I have the right spirit, that I am even to shutting my mouth when it's necessary. Oh my goodness. So, they never They never sought forgiveness. They shifted the blame. And, you know, we are taught in the Scriptures to take the blame even if it's to your own hurt. To keep your word even if it's to your own hurt. And I've had to do that. I've had to do that when it would have been better if I could have just said, I can't do that. But to put it off, to put something off is just to put it off and to put it off and to put it off. So, you know, the best thing to do is just go and get it done. Keep your word. Keep your word, the Scripture says, even if it's to your own hurt. And, you know, he told him, he said, you're going to have to work by the sweat of your brow, everything. Nothing's going to yield to you. Okay, here's the deal. It's always said, here in America anyway, here in America it is said that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And that was exactly where God tested him. Over something to eat. Over something to eat. Every time man was tested, it was tested over something to eat. If you're the Son of God, turn these stones into bread. Aren't you hungry? Yes, I'm hungry, but I'm not turning these stones into bread. 4, what does it say? He already had the command on that. 4, man shall not live by bread alone. He must have peanut butter. And a little bit of jelly. Do you see that? It's all tested in areas where you can fail. You can absolutely fail. Every place that we are tried, every place that there can be a weakness, every place, it is always a place where he can get a victory over us if we allow it, if we don't see it, if we shift blame, if we don't pay attention to what God is saying. Are you hearing me? We better hear this. Our being able to cast out a devil is not going to be your problem. Praying for the sick, all I want to do is just pray for somebody to get well and see them getting well. Well, you know, if you can't even control your own attitude, you need to pray for somebody to get well. Because your attitude will get in the way. You'll get mad because they didn't. If your attitude has to change up back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you know, you'll get upset because they didn't, or you'll draw back for fear they won't. Oh my God. You see, the thing of it is, we see these areas in someone else. It's so easy for us to stand here and quarterback this after it's happened. But what we need to be judging is how it's happening to us. How are we going to try the spirits and see if they're of God when you don't even know what manner of spirit you're of? Well, I'm going to run my house. Well, I hope so, because, you know, it sounds like, you know, but you might be running it right by yourself. And all he had to do was get up, pick up that snake, and throw him as far as he could throw him. All he had to do, all you have to do with an adversary is not fight him. You just have to resist him. You don't have the wherewithal to fight the devil. You fight the good fight of faith, not the devil. Jesus was the only one qualified to do that. Oh my. But he didn't do that, and he could have said to her, now, sugar, listen, God's already told us not to eat that. Get that out of your mouth. If she had put that in her mouth, I don't believe anything would have ever been said to God. But when it got to his mouth, that's when the guns come out. Why? Because he expects him to be a leader. He expects him. He expects him. So now he's going to have to work by the sweat of his brow. He's going to have to beat the earth. And the earth has been turned against him. I mean, now the ground will try to grow whatever you put in it. That's why you can't put a fence post in it without eventually the fence post rotting it. Because the earth tries to grow it. But it'll grow poison as well as corn. My goodness. And so will your heart. Wow. You see, I want to know where I'm standing with him. I don't know how many times I have to say this in this church, probably till I go on to heaven. But he said to me, you're going to have to get yourself off your hands. And then he said to me, I'm worthy of your good behavior. And that means all the time, every time, not when something has just got the best of you. He's worthy of our good behavior. Get yourself off your hands. You won't pay near as much attention to someone else's actions when you are guarding your own. You won't come as near to judge other people when you let the Spirit of God judge you.
You have been watching Words of Light for Today with Linda Adkins. For prayer or a free CD of today's message, please call 904-289-9727. Visit our website at wordsoflight.org, where you may order explosive and anointed teaching messages or other great resources from our bookstore. Be blessed and join Linda Adkins next time as she brings Words of Light for Today.